Hi, you're listening to the Business News Wales Business Insights podcast from myself, Jodie Bryant. Joining me today is CEO and founder of Awen Collective, Daniel Lewis. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for joining me.
It's good to be on the podcast.
Brilliant. So to start then, Dan, I'm going to fire 3 quick fire questions at you. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Brilliant. So number 1, what's your favourite quote?
So I'm very inspired by European philosophers and theologians. And one in particular, Goethe, said, "Courage is the commitment to begin without any guarantee of success."
Lovely. Number 2, statement to your younger self.
Have more faith in yourself. You can do it. I think I suffered from disbelieving in myself when I was a lot younger.
Okay, I think a lot of people will probably, that'll resonate with a lot of people actually. Brilliant. And third and final quick-fire question then, Dan. Name one tech rule that you implement either personally or in your household.
So I think this is probably a little bit different from what you're thinking, but I never rush into buying the latest technologies or gadgets. I prefer to see how things go and actually really ask the question: is this device going to give me what I want from it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I think it's not really necessary, is it, to go full bells and whistles if you don't need full bells and whistles, so to speak. So, and also bugs as well. No one likes bugs that come with latest software. So no, I like it. So just going into the business questions then, Dan, if you could start by telling me a bit about your background, what Awen Collective do, and what inspired you to set up the business back in 2017, please.
Mm-hmm. Of course. So I was born and raised in Kent. I'm not actually Welsh, but I moved away from home at 18 to study artificial intelligence at Oxford Brookes. Graduated, kind of bumbled around a few technology jobs afterwards, while also blogging about technology for a few years. Then I secured a position, an interesting one, called a technology evangelist in late 2007. And it was an amazing position, which kind of merged both marketing and technology. And it focused in on the technology that I had been looking at in my degree dissertation. But I kind of regret that I left that position about a year after starting it to do a master's in machine learning. And I actually dropped out of that master's because I ran out of cash. And so I got back into web development, which I was never really pleased about because I was always working on someone else's project. So I went back into academia in 2012 and I started a PhD at the University of Bristol. And then over the next few years, I spent my time researching and researching what I really wanted to, which was a part of AI called fuzzy set theory. Wrote some academic papers which were published in some great peer-reviewed publications. So that was pretty cool. And in 2015, I got a senior researcher job after the PhD research, and that was at the University of South Wales. So I moved over the water into our lovely Welsh country. And I was part of the information security research group there. So I was looking into cybersecurity and really developed a passion for cybersecurity there. A year passed and I was doing both research and some commercial work within the university. And we decided to put a bid in for some European funding, what they call Horizon 2020 funding. And I managed to get together 10 organizations from across Europe to bid for this funding and start a project. And the week before the submission, the 2016 Brexit referendum happened. And the result of that referendum actually led to two of the European partners leaving. And we managed to get the bid in, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. And ultimately, we didn't win the funding. So I was on the lookout for other things to do. And I joined a UK government program, which was called the Cyber Academic Startups Initiative. It's now called Cyber ASAP. And this basically enabled academics to be trained in entrepreneurial skills with the aim of commercializing research, but ultimately upskilling the UK around cybersecurity. I successfully won that funding and very quickly realized that I was onto something in creating software solutions. Specifically for industrial sectors, so critical infrastructures like energy, water, transportation, and also manufacturing. And in 2017, I registered Awen Collective. I left the university and went into the company full time. So really, the company combines my experiences of working as a software engineer, web developer, working as a technology evangelist, being innovative in academia, but really wanting to solve real world problems. And that's what drives me now, but also what drives me is building the Awen team and supporting them and seeing the whole team love what they do, solving real world cybersecurity problems in industrial sectors by developing software.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing your journey, Dan. Certainly a very interesting journey. And it's great to hear now that you're at a place which combines all of your strengths from what you've learned along the way. So thank you for sharing. Obviously, you've mentioned new technologies, and adopting new technologies is obviously becoming more and more essential for industrial businesses, especially to gain a competitive advantage. What security advice do you have for any CTOs and CIOs when considering 4.0 technologies such as IoT, AI, and robotics?
I think the real piece of advice there is to be aware. And these technologies are ultimately about having awareness of operational efficiency and improving on that efficiency. However, it's easy to forget that operational technologies employed in industrial businesses are actually made and deployed for particular tasks and are reliable within their own environment. And if you start expanding that environment to include some of these technologies, the risks of failure increase rapidly. And this could be through a variety of causes, but cybersecurity vulnerabilities being one of those, one of the biggest causes. So be aware of the environment, the networks, and the risks, especially the cybersecurity risks.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant, thank you. Obviously, you talk about risks there. Where do you see the biggest security threats within UK industry today?
I think it's in the unknowns, really. And that's the case with security in general, to be honest. There's a lot of legacy equipment out there in the industrial sectors, especially in the UK and across Europe, as we have some of the earliest implementations of industrial sectors. And it's the legacy equipment which has the most vulnerabilities. So organizations which run this equipment should be aware of their equipment and of the risks of that equipment, especially when employing Industry 4.0 technology.
Yeah.
This isn't just a risk to these organizations, but it's a problem to society really as well, as these systems control our energy, our water, our rail network, our traffic lights, air traffic control, production of food, drink, pharmaceuticals, vehicles, all sorts. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't like talking about this much because it's about fear. But the thing is, we have an opportunity here to make things better. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of guidance out there from governments, from private sector. But the thing is, no single company or organization has the full answer. My company, like all other cybersecurity companies, offers just a small part of a bigger solution. And this is why I say that organizations need to explore the unknowns and gradually turn them into knowns.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Dan. Have the recent restrictions and changes to the ways of working had an effect on your customer requirements at all? And if so, what trends are you noticing and how are you having to adapt to those trends?
I think it's an interesting question that many people have explored, and it's different for different sectors.
Yeah.
But for many businesses and people in the industrial sectors and otherwise are actually thinking a lot more about the cybersecurity implications of working from home. They're also thinking a lot more about the business continuity, and this does also include the concept of cyber resiliency. And ultimately, this creates more demand for cybersecurity products, services, and skills. Mm-hmm. It also means that people are becoming more aware of the need to consider the security of a product when purchasing it. And in my opinion, this is a good transformation. It's just a shame that it's taken a pandemic to actually make it.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's certainly accelerated the pace of change, hasn't it, within the technology infrastructure. There's a lot of companies at the minute, I think, kind of scrambling around to understand how best to work from home and whether or not their current network infrastructure can actually withstand the extra pressures on the networks. But yeah, it's good change. I agree. So that's good, and it's exciting, isn't it? It's an exciting time as well as a concerning one.
It is.
So, what are your plans then for Awen in the near and not so near future?
So we will continue to do what we do, and we're in a good position right now. We plan to sustainably grow the team, primarily here in Wales. We're gaining more and more traction across the UK. We also have some plans to do some voluntary cybersecurity work with industry here in South Wales over the next few months. And next year we'll see our expansion into Europe, and that's despite Brexit. Maybe we'll open up an office on the continent. Plus, we're on the UK government program called the Tech Export Academy, which will see us gain some traction in smart cities across Asia Pacific over the next year. So hopefully we'll see some wins in that region by the end of next year.
Fantastic! Really exciting things to look forward to then.
It is, yeah. Really looking forward to the next 12 months and onwards.
Good. So, where do you see the adoption of new technologies making the most positive impact on society?
I think, despite all my my warnings about the cybersecurity implications of Industry 4.0 being used on legacy equipment, ultimately it is a good thing. Industry 4.0 and smart cities initiatives, they're all doing wonderful things in places like Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Singapore, South Korea, Japan. And they aren't just making improvements to efficiencies and human safety, but they are actually creating jobs in these regions. And that's kind of counter to what we believe or feel about automation. Mm-hmm. So with efficiency, with safety, and with better jobs, this should give a prompt to both the private and the public sectors to work on making society better. More ethical jobs could be created, more care about people and the environment, and innovation into making things better, perhaps even reversing the damage to our ecology.
Mm. Yeah, I absolutely love that. I think there's so many different kind of case studies in there where we can actually start to utilize tech for some really good causes and, for so much positive impact within society. And like you say, I think with automation, there is that fear around loss of jobs as more things become automated, but that just frees up some positions, doesn't it, for different types of projects and different types of industry and things. So, they say the only constant is change, don't they? And I definitely think there's a lot of positive change on the horizon, so to speak. So
there's certainly a lot of evidence that shows that automation actually creates jobs rather than loses them.
Good. No, good. So how do you see technology transforming the way we live over the next 5 years? I know you've mentioned kind of smart cities. Is there anywhere else that you feel, there'll be quite a bit of transformation?
So I think I have hope that technology and the wider kind of STEM subjects will actually make things better over the next 5 years. They are the systems for understanding the world and analysing it, and they help us to adapt the way that we work within the world. And I think because of this pandemic, to begin with, there is going to be a lot of work within STEM for safety, for security, for resilience. But afterwards, the prime focus will turn to progress. There are some really exciting and amazing things happening, both in private companies and in academia. So I'd say let's have hope, and let's do what we can to continue to improve ourselves and the environment that we work in.
Brilliant, Dan. Very well said. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time today, Dan, and for sharing with us your insights and what all about Awen Collective and what you guys are doing, some of the fantastic work. So really keep up the good work, and thank you so much. If there's any companies or organisations or people that would like to hear more or to partner with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I would say visit our website first, so awencollective.com. Feel free to reach out through the contact page there, or you can search for me on LinkedIn. Brilliant.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your time. And thank you to all those who are listening. I hope you picked up some really valuable insights into the world of cybersecurity and the wonderful technology being developed right here in Wales. Thank you all. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye.